Je suis Bobby, je n'avais plus de canette au frigo. Du coup, j'ai une canette chaude. Je suis abasourdi. Ah merde, ça a commencé.
Supermassive games on the Dark Picture anthology, a whole bunch of different horror games that are coming out in quick succession. This is the third one in the anthology already, but if you didn't know them before, of course, Supermassive made Until Dawn, a breakout PlayStation hit that then led to this deal. Of course, they've done Man of Medan already. Now they did Little Hope, and now it's time to see more of House of Ashes. So yeah, this one's an exciting, different thing, right, Jackie?
Well, I have been closely monitoring every trailer, any gameplay that is dropped on this, and it is so scary. Like, I really cannot emphasize that enough. But for me, it has to be more than scary, and it has to be more than these terrifying aliens. For some reason, the story really hits with me, and you can also tell that they've invested so much time into this project, and I'm really hoping we get more of an insight.
Alpha Accro, t'inquiète, la VOD sera sur YouTube. Les seuls que je vais pas mettre, c'est Power Watch Simulator. Mais les autres, quoi que je mettrais peut-être la dernière, je sais pas encore.
Opposing forces get dropped into a Sumerian temple, right? And all sorts of supernatural elements start popping
Ah, tu m'étonnes, Scar. Tu m'étonnes. Au pire, dans 2 semaines, j'amène le mien. Ça, je pense qu'il te ferait marrer, le mien. C'est une hélice d'hélico, le mien. Alors, pas celui-là que j'utilise pour les streams, mais j'utilise la journée quand je suis pas en stream, parce que je peux pas dormir avec tellement il fait fort, tellement il est fort.
And here, with their 2021 E3 presentation, is Bandai Namco presents House of Ashes.
Comment ça, vous avez une D5 entre la voix et les lèvres? Quoi? Comment ça? Comment ça? E3 exclusive. Ah merde, Scar, putain, quel enfer. Heureux à tous ceux qui reviennent. Et bonne nuit à ceux qui vont se coucher. Ah, mais oui, c'est le nouveau Man of Medan. Enfin, Dark Pictures. Franchement, je l'attends trop, mais j'ai peur d'être déçu sur celui-là. J'ai vraiment peur d'être déçu. Rien, ça vient de commencer, Kubi. Mais du coup, ils ont quand même commencé 2 minutes avant. Hein. Ils ont pas le time, ils ont pas le time Bandai Namco, quoi. Mais vous voyez, ça c'est pas Bandai Namco qui édite ça, si? Attendez, je regarde. Ça me paraît...
To descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave. Or extremely foolish. Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each
Ah si, c'est Bandai Namco qui édite, my bad. En même temps, tu vas me dire, ça paraît logique, mais... Je sais pas, je savais pas que c'était Bandai Namco, ça me paraissait étrange. Putain, tu peux dégager le truc YouTube là. Allez, casse-toi.
What nightmare have these luckless souls fallen into? You keep lookout.
You keep lookout.
Lookout for what?
One by one. Their lights.
Après ça peut être bien flippant hein, mais j'ai peur que le côté on est des marines avec des gros guns, soit dès le début ils nous les enlèvent et dans ce cas là ça enlève le... Mais je sais pas, j'ai peur que ça soit trop action en fait. Forever. Ah oui d'ailleurs ceux qui regardent la VOD, je suis désolé mais il n'y aura pas la VOD de Nintendo puisque ils ont complètement bloqué les streams de l'E3 et du coup j'ai dû streamer ça sans regarder la conférence et les gens regardaient la conférence à côté, du coup pas de truc, pas de conférence Nintendo. Oh putain, on va se taper, on va encore se taper 1 million d'heures d'interviews de l'emmerdement.
Let's start at the very start. We're going to be talking about House of Ashes.
Let's start at the start. Merci Jacqueline. Merci Jacqueline.
The Dark Pictures is a series of narrative, story-driven, branching horror stories. Each one is standalone.
Je regarde juste un truc, chat 2 secondes.
Completely separated from the others, but within the same universe. So there is connection between them all. House of Ashes is set at the end of the Iraq War in 2003. With links,
je vous avoue que si on se tape 1 heure de blabla à la coche média, ça va me saouler.
So tell us more about the theme and themes, I suppose, within.
Ça va me casser les couilles.
It starts off with a military unit. They've got some new technology.
En plus, j'ai pas envie de me faire spoiler, quoi.
Mass destruction underground.
I don't want to get spoiled.
Something in the Zagros Mountains in
I don't want to get spoiled.
As part of that, they come into conflict with an Iraqi unit.
Du coup, j'essaie de pas écouter.
And then the two groups are plunged underground. There's an earthquake of some sort, and it's revealed that there's a hidden temple underground. You know, these big, massive structures, but these different groups, they're all separated. Radio contact is lost, and they're submerged in this black darkness.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
And then they're going to start hearing things and seeing things, and people are going to start disappearing.
What the f just happened?
So this time, it's a very real threat.
J'écoute pas, hein, désolé, mais je veux pas me spoiler. Hein. Désolé. C'est fait exprès. J'écoute pas et je réagis pas. Je veux pas me spoiler.
So we love looking at and reading myths and legends and stories and doing our research, and we know our fans love it as well because there's something that they can link into afterwards, and I love doing that when I'm playing games or watching movies myself. So this one's set 4,000 years ago, the Akkadian Empire.
Ouais, ils ont commencé un peu avant Snatcher. Non, t'as juste loupé le début de Mad of Medan. Je suis désolé chat, j'aime pas faire ça, mais celui-là, en fait les jeux comme ça, j'ai vraiment pas envie de me les spoiler, quoi.
We've done a lot of research about it, and then we had a lot of happy accidents that linked into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is we get to do our own take on it. We get to twist it, and obviously we've made our own truth from it.
At the end of the sneak peek, the trailer, we saw monsters. Tell us a bit more about what's going on there.
The military unit that you're playing as, they don't really know what they're coming up against. They're not human, they're bigger, they're larger, they're faster. The team aren't going to know if there's one or two of them or hundreds or thousands of them. And that's kind of the threat with this, you know, they've got guns, maybe they could try and take one of them down.
Du coup, je réponds à mes tweets. Hein. Je réponds à mes tweets, hein, du coup, vous m'en voudrez pas. Comment ça va le Scara s'il est encore là, sinon à part le ventilo et internet? Comment qu'il va? Par contre, si ça va durer un quart d'heure, je vais me faire chier, moi, d'un moment.
Or is it actually just one of the other soldiers that's stuck in the catacomb?
Who's there?
We like to try and misdirect people on things, you know, that did you see something, did you not? And that's a great thing within horror, that you think you're going to be scared right now, and we're not going to scare you now, we'll scare you in a minute when you're not expecting it.
It's always coming.
Yeah, always.
So should we expect a huge amount of peril in the game?
Definitely. We love to do it. You know, it's fun for us to work on. As horrific as it is, and we know that our fans love it as well. So yeah, there's at least 60 unique deaths, and there's a whole ton of variation on that as well. So Merwin and some of the others, you're going to see different things happening to them depending on how you play.
Tu relances BBM, j'avoue.
And shredded and torn, and because there's a fire.
Bah tu m'étonnes, Scar, tu m'étonnes. En espérant que ton nouveau rendez-vous, ils mettent pas 1 milliard d'années à se caler, quoi.
Wicked. It sounds absolutely terrifying. I'm in.
Not gonna lie, man. Pretty bad.
What differences have you made or changes have you made to the gameplay and mechanics for House of Ashes?
We're always evolving the Dark Pictures. We listen to a lot of the feedback from our fans, and also our team, what they want to do, how they want to push things forward. So we tried some stuff in Little Hope with you know, more camera control, 360 cameras at certain parts, and we've really leaned on that again, and it really works well. In House of Ashes, lots of the game is set underground, and so these sort of corridors which are really tight and oppressive.
Creepy.
Yeah, indeed.
Oui, j'ai vu.
So we've had to learn because
bonne nuit. Bonne nuit, c'est qu'on se coucher. Désolé, chat, je suis vraiment désolé de pas vous m'intéresser à ce qu'il raconte et à pas réagir, mais ça me saoule. Désolé. Et puis bon, ça dure 1000 ans, quoi, c'est ça qui est bien. C'est ça qui est bien, c'est que ça dure 1000 ans. C'est vraiment ça qui est cool, quoi. Donc c'est agréable, quoi. C'est agréable.
In Little Hope we added, you know, QT warning icons as an example. We want to allow you to play the game in your way. So with our accessibility settings and difficulty settings, if you want to have a more casual experience, you can change those settings. Still, most of your characters are going to end up dead, but you know, that's
spoilers,
what
yeah.
indeed.
But that's what we come here for. That's okay. We can deal with it. So I've got to ask, what was it like working with Ashley?
So Ashley was fantastic. She researched Rachel.
Ouais, j'avoue, c'est une illustration. Petit Bloodborne.
And Rachel is a flawed character, so she brought that forward so fantastically. The rest of the cast were fantastic as well.
When we were looking for Joey, Salim helped me.
Après, ouais, voilà, au pire, faites comme accro, regardez les goals et attends, je vais moucher. Regardez les goals et puis donnez de l'argent pour atteindre les goals, hein, au pire, allez-y. Hein.
We spend a long time designing them, and I don't mind if you hate any one individual character because you don't like everyone in real life. But maybe you'll like them when you see the journey they go on.
Maybe you'll like them once they're dead and you feel bad about it.
And you feel bad about it, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, tu t'écoutes. Non mais un jour on le fera à PS5 Strikers. Je le jure. Après, est-ce qu'on le fera en stream? Après, est-ce qu'on le fera en stream? Ça, c'est autre chose, quoi. Ah oui, last question, oui, last question. Oui, last question, oui. Veut pas être ban. C'est quoi le prochain goal? Pourquoi tu serais ban? Un Mario au choix et le Dark Souls clavier souris. Bah, pourquoi tu serais ban? Pourquoi vous seriez ban? Je vois pas. Je vois pas pourquoi vous seriez ban.
And then of course I love scaring people, so I love the jump scares, I love the
moments of tension
that we bring. We can't hold you in that moment, so we've got some fantastic jokes in there as well to allow you to relax for a moment before we scare you.
Last run BPM, la best, last question la plus longue. J'avoue.
Dan, thank you so much. This has been really cool to talk
ouais, it's been really cool, ouais. Ouais, really cool. Après, sinon, Mario, c'est cool aussi. Hein. Dans les goals, Mario, c'est sympa aussi. Hein. Enfin, après, je dis ça, je veux pas... Voilà, mais... C'est pas mal aussi, Mario. PS5S, tu devrais mieux impresser que PS5R. Ouais, bah, j'ai cru comprendre, on verra. Vivilsi. Vivilsi. Putain, il y a encore les barres. Mais non mais accro, arrête, je rigolais. Arrête. Ah mais je le connais, Johnny à droite là. Raveur. C'est Raveur. Est-ce que vous aimez Raveur?
Okay, we'll fight. Okay, well, we've done it before.
Est-ce que vous aimez Raveur?
I'll be little brother. I'll take the outdated. Nobody wants these anymore, right? Doesn't worry.
Non mais arrête, accro, calme-toi. Avec Serra de rien, t'as loupé à peu près 1000 ans sur le prochain Dark Chronicles.
Not terrified, thankfully, because it was just a normal trailer, which is fine. There's my face.
You're unsettled for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, you don't like that.
Ah ouais, maintenant, ah oui, on est carrément sur des émissions à la japonaise où ils montrent leurs réactions pendant les...
Dark Picture Anthology at House of Ashes. So Supermassive Games in Liverpool, UK, making that one, being published by Bandai Namco. I personally have fallen off.
Quoi?
But I did love Until Dawn. The Dark
Man of Medan, which was interesting because I hadn't really played Until Dawn, so I didn't know what to expect even hopping into that one, but there was some sort of satisfaction kind of going through it all and seeing everyone die. So now I'm thinking about how they're talking about all of the bloody deaths coming in House of Ashes.
Attends, mais ils se sont trompés, Bandai Namco là?
If we can run this back.
Bah, un MacDibou, on sait pas, il y a un truc bizarre qui vient de se passer. Il y a eu un cut et il y a eu...
Try and kill everyone. I am a player who will try and save as many as I can, so I can't really identify.
Et qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
Tam, what's your experience with these ones?
Yeah, I played a bunch of Man of Medan and I
Mais il reparle de Man of Medan.
They kind of like spoke to the developers behind it.
Allô?
Allô?
Ah c'est bon. Faut pas que je fasse comme Margot parce que sinon moi mon micro il arrête de marcher pendant quelques secondes. Faut pas que je fasse comme Margot. Oh par contre là le vinyle et le petit Demon Souls Dark Souls et là le truc Metal Gear Solid. Oh là là. Mamie. Mamie.
This one definitely feels like it's starting to look like it could be the most interesting, especially thematic.
Non mais vu que je peux pas faire de bruit parce que d'habitude chez moi je tape sur le bureau ou tout comme ça, bah là du coup j'avoue que j'ai pris le réflexe de taper sur le micro mais faut pas que je fasse ça.
This weird supernatural thing is happening, and
mais qu'est-ce qui se passe? Au secours!
And then them knowing that in terms of gameplay they needed to shake it up a bit. I think that is really good, a really good sign going into this new entry in that series. So I am definitely more inclined to keep an eye on it and check it out when it comes out for sure.
Yeah, I think to your point there, if you think about Until Dawn, I remember when that one was announced. What came out 2015?
Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Being announced like way ahead, and it was very different. I think I remember it was like a PlayStation Move game, like you use the PS Move as sort of your torch or flashlight, and then ultimately like the way that game evolved. And so maybe Supermassive learned something, and they're just kind of making these shorter experiences that are still, you know, full to the brim of player choice, but are maybe less ambitious in all the millions of different permutations you could potentially get in Until Dawn. I'm probably over-exaggerating when I say millions, but definitely a lot. So it's good to see, and it also means that they can be a little bit quicker when it comes to reacting to things like player feedback. As you can see, they're changing their accessibility
like survival.
options,
but also like when someone's
developers do, but also changing.
Mais Bandai Namco, qu'est-ce que vous branlez?
They're adding like difficulty settings.
I'm like, cool, I can't hold a controller and, you know, try to guide these teams.
Oui, mais ça, c'est le truc de l'E3.
You know, a throwback to something like Resident Evil, where you sort of have the tank controls and the very deliberately posed.
Ça, c'est le flux officiel E3, c'est pas ça qu'on veut, non?
That, like, some players are not going to enjoy that, and so I'm intrigued to see them experiment with a freer camera for this one. The story hasn't particularly grabbed me just yet.
Attendez, je mets ça comme ça, je vais aller regarder le chat.
I have never heard of the Akkadian Empire. British schooling, unfortunately, did not go that far, but it sounds intriguing. Like,
il y a 32 000 personnes qui comprennent pas ce qui se passe.
Ends up all bloody and full of betrayal. I love that stuff. Persia, what do you make of the setting and the fact that Ashley, like,
l'enfer, le chat YouTube, mais quel enfer!
They always have like a big name, like Sean Ashmore, Rami Malek, Hayden Panettiere. Like, they always have these big names, and now Ashley Tisdale.
Entre les remarques sur le physique et les trucs pas très sympas.
Obviously, you know, my guilty pleasure was High School Musical back in the day, so I'm very.
Hey, it is not a guilty pleasure.
You know,
it is a pleasure.
You know, pop to the top. You know, and I feel like maybe we'll see that out of House of Ashes, rising to the top, because, like you were mentioning before, there are a lot of elements where they might have fallen short before, and I feel like they're kind of.
En tout cas, je suis content d'avoir streamé jusqu'à 23h30 pour ça, quoi.
And even hearing like the voice acting and how people like Ashley Tisdale approach becoming a character, it looks very involved, so I'm interested to see more.
Vraiment, je suis très content.
They were mentioning, oh, you know, we gotta
d'avoir streamé jusqu'à cette heure-ci, alors que je pétais la dalle pour ça.
In the ones that I've played, so I'm like, do you? But for everyone
vraiment,
else who's, you know, much tougher than I am when it comes to horror games, they are specifically looking towards you guys to seemingly make scarier things happen, and I'm just gonna have to brace myself.
Putain, je suis allé voir chez des journalistes qui s'appellent Carole Quintet et Julien Chiez, et en fait ils se font tellement yesh qu'ils ils font carrément le room tour. Ils présentent la vidéo room tour de leur studio. On en est là, quoi.
With some well-known faces from around the industry to chat about the big reveals from this week. But today, like, because
on en est là.
Today we also have the GameSpot Showcase, which is something that Tam helped put together in collaboration with The Mix. Tam, do you want to tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, so the GameSpot Showcase is something that is quite near and dear to our hearts, and my heart specifically as well. To get it out of the way, because I know what it's like to go into a showcase not knowing what's there. This isn't about AAA experiences. This isn't. You're not going to get an Elden Ring here.
Sur Twitter, ils ont juste dit qu'ils faisaient une presse de Dark Pictures. Quoi?
Games like that. However, the games that are going to be there are really cool. They're really interesting. I hand-selected a bunch of them myself, and my approach to it was like, I'm going to pick a bunch of games that I know my friends are going to like. And there's games in there that I thought about when I saw them. It was like, oh, this person that I work with is going to love this.
Attendez, ça peut pas être que ça.
And they're all games that are tied together thematically or in terms of purpose, in that they are exploring interesting subject matter that is often not explored.
Je suis en train de mener mes investigations, chat.
Or they're created by teams of diverse perspectives, or they're created by, you know, teams that want to have a message.
Je mène mes investigations.
Or games that are designed to be uplifting and cozy and that kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I think
Chez le stream, ils sont en débrief.
Like I said, not blockbuster games that you're going to be like, holy moly, this is going to be game of the year. I mean, some of them will be game of the year, I'm sure, for a lot of people. But it's the smaller experiences that are going to be meaningful to you in your life. And
Comment ça, un débrief?
Either make you feel good about playing them, or they'll make you think when you put them down. Or you'll want to speak to someone and
Comment
be like,
ça, un débrief?
Game out. It's a small indie game that's really, really neat. And it's split up into an hour, and there are 4 interviews that are going to happen during that whole hour, and therefore 4 games that come from people, or they're 4 ideas, or get 4 games that I really like stuff with me and I want to explore them. So they're like maybe 5 or 6 minutes in between that. We're just going to be talking about here's a bunch of games.
Mais en plus, ce qui est fou, c'est que ça, c'est le YouTube de Bandai Namco. C'est le putain de... Ah non, c'est GameSpot. Il s'agit exclusivement d'une présentation de House of Ashes. Mais non, attendez, c'est pas ça que je veux montrer. Pourquoi ?
Bye everybody.
Allez, à demain. Non mais à demain, là c'est bon. Il y a un moment, moi je veux bien être gentil, mais c'est quoi ce foutage de gueule là? Est-ce que vraiment je viens de me prendre une douille dans le huc sans vaseline, sans rien? On a dû rater, mais j'ai... Mais on a raté quoi? Qu'est-ce que j'ai... À part ma vie? Bon. Écoutez, moi ce que je vous propose... c'est... de tous pleurer ensemble.